Welcome to video number 4 of this series where I show you how to build an AI agent, voice AI agent that talks to you, have access to your Google Docs, and you can literally dump your brain while walking, jogging, driving, whatever. So basically, the first thing you need is an n8n account. Go ahead and sign up. I already have an account, so I'm going to just log in. The first screen you'll see is like this. We'll go from left to right and explain everything. On the left side, you'll see a button overview, a button to add a new workflow, your projects. You can categorize your projects like that. You can have multiple projects and basically put them in different categories. You can have some templates, some admin panel and stuff. We'll come to that later if needed. You have all your user-related information there. And then on the right side, you have the same thing where you can create credentials and workflows, and you can search your existing workflows here. And you can see all the executions. So basically, executions is the tab where your AI agent have performed certain tasks, and then you can see all those tasks in here. So let's go and create a new workflow in here, just something like this, and then you click on personal. And in this screen, what you see is basically a bunch of different buttons. I'll explain everything, and then we'll go on. So the first thing is your workflow name. You can click on this and then you can change it. For example, I can call it Samantha. This is the AI agent that we are building. Let's give it a name. You can give it a tag so that easily you can recognize it. You can call it voice AI. You can call it AI agent or whatever tags that you want to give to this. This toggle button is used for activating or inactivating it. So basically, initially you put it in inactive, especially when you're building it. Once you're done with the building, when you click this toggle button, then it runs and then you see your AI agent working out there in the world. You can share it with your colleagues from here. This little thing shows the status of the current thing. For example, if I put something, you can see that there is a button. If I click it, it saves it and then it says saved. Or you can also, for example, I put something else here, just randomly anything. And then you see there is this thing. I can also press on Command S, it will save it. So those are the two ways you can do that. Let's select all and delete. You can also see there, you can see the history of things that you have done. You can revert it. And then you can see a few buttons here that can duplicate, download, blah, blah. Download is interesting and it has something to do with templates. Whatever workflow you create, it can be downloaded as a small JSON file that can be uploaded in another account. So it is recommended that when you build your workflows on n8n, you take a backup of them. You never know if your account goes off or you lose your things. It's good to have a backup. This button is basically to fit your, let's say if it's zoomed out, you press this button, it comes back and sits on the screen. This is for zooming in, zooming out, obvious, and that is basically for resetting to the default or tidying it up. Tidying it up is this. Okay. Alrighty, so this button is for adding a so-called node. What is a node? A node is one of these different things that you can put inside your n8n workflow. Let's put a node called trigger, for example, manually trigger. That means like literally whenever I click on this, it is triggered. This is a node. A node in n8n has a specific way, a specific format, to be honest. The first thing first, it's a trigger, or the first step is something that you need to activate this workflow. So I'm gonna click this again, and I'm gonna add a chat trigger. I'm going to just press escape or click on this back. This is basically a chat window. If I click on open chat, you can see here it's a chat. I can say hi. Nothing comes back, but it says executed successfully. That's fine because there is nothing next to it. Then click on this one, and then let's add a simple workflow. Let's click on advanced AI, and then let's click on AI agent. And if you see, there is something very common. There is like this left side, right side, and then middle side. In this is almost the same for across all different n8n workflows or n8n nodes. Just for the sake of conversation, I'm going to add one more thing here. I'm going to call it OpenAI. You see the same thing. Input, something in the middle, and then output. Same thing on this one, in the middle, input, output. If you remember from my slides, that thing where I showed input, output, input, process, output, it's just basically very similar to the same concept, input, process, output. So anything that you pick can be moved, like the middle thing can be moved. How is that called? Like the settings, let's call it the settings of that node. And these little nodes can be connected with each other. So for example, in this node, I would like to connect a Google Docs. And I want to create a Google Doc from this. And then from that create Google Doc, I want to create another Google Doc, and I want to update a Google Doc once it's created. Now I built a workflow. It's not done. It's not working. It's not going to work. But I'm just showing you how to put things here. For example, here I put a memory. I put some tools. Let's say I put Slack for notifying someone. Now, if you see this entire workflow, all of them, when you open, you see input, some settings that will change from node to node, and then output. Same thing, input, some settings, and then output. Same thing for this one, and same thing for the rest of them. All right, so that's the basics of n8n, like the anatomy of all n8n features that you can see. For each workflow, you pick a different node. The requirements of that node is a little bit different. So now the next step would be, in the next video, we will actually put an OpenAI integration so that we can have a chat with our n8n workflow.